Before we begin today's show, I wanted to acknowledge the tragedy that occurred in Orlando last Sunday, June 12th, 2016. On this show, we talk about fictional superheroes, but last weekend we saw real superheroes go into action to help their fellow man when it was most needed. Whether they were helping others get to safety, taking down the bad guy, or waiting in line for hours to donate blood, we are reminded that heroes walk among us. Thank you, and enjoy the show. Greetings, my nerd brethren. It is I, Jay, professional nerd and geek enthusiast. With me, as always, my stalwart companion and sorting hat of nerddom, Christopher. We are broadcasting from the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. And you are just in time for the Just Us Nerds podcast.
Now let's show that hippogriff some respect and let's get things started.
In a world where two nerds come together to talk about all things nerdy, Just Us Nerds podcast was born. We talk about comics, movies, and all things in between. Get ready to have your mind blown by the most amazing podcast ever recorded anywhere ever. The Just Us Nerds podcast. Aw, yeah.
All right, well, how you doing, Chris?
Good, man. Let's go.
Let's go. What'd you read this week?
Where do we want to start? I mean...
I thought maybe we could begin with Dark Knight Returns, The Last Crusade.
Okay.
This is not an Indiana Jones movie.
Sean Connery is not in it.
He's not playing Commissioner Gordon. Batman, you've got to help us because we can't find the Holy Grail.
It's not that one.
Not that one.
Okay. Is Marcus Brody going to be O'Hara then?
Marcus Brody would be O'Hara, and Sala would be Harvey Bullock.
Okay, let's stop.
Okay, all right. So the writers of this is basically
this is another Frank Miller.
It's another Frank Miller. It's taking place in the Dark Knight Returns universe. It's written by Brian Azzarello and Frank Miller. Although from the way the writing's been going, I have a feeling it has more to do with Azzarello than Miller. I think Miller probably outlines more of the concepts for it. And it's drawn by the extremely talented John Romita Jr.
Oh, yeah.
Love his artwork. It retails for about $6.99, available at your local comic book store.
But this is a large comic, too.
Yeah, you're getting I think it's like a 62-page comic. I may be wrong. You can fact check me on that if you want. But
60.
It's a 60-page comic.
60-page comic.
Okay.
67 with all the other covers.
And overall, before we get into the good and the bad, a very good comic in my opinion. So I think it's definitely worth it. So the basic plot of this is the prequel to The Dark Knight Returns, which sees Batman at the end of his career working with Robin, and sort of his first realizations that his age...
That he's getting old.
He's getting old, and that it's becoming a hindrance to his safety and possibly Robin's at carrying out his crusade. So let's jump right in with the good, and then we'll get to the bad, and then the favorite moment.
Okay.
I'll start with the good. I really enjoyed reading this. I liked it. I liked it a lot better than both of the Dark Knight Returns sequels, Strikes Again and Master Race, which I don't know if we'll ever see the end of Master Race because it's been delayed again.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I think telling the story of the end of Batman's career it's unique. I don't think it's something that we've seen before. And hear me out on this. We've seen Batman retired.
Yeah.
But it's usually multiple times, but it's usually the aftermath that we see. He's already been retired. We've never really seen, apart from maybe Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, where we get a little bit of the things that led up.
The red suit. He was wearing the black and red suit. So
yeah. Well, no. Did you ever see the movie Return of Joker?
Yeah.
Do you remember the whole story about how Joker kidnaps Robin?
Yep.
And apart from that, we've never really seen a story that shows kind of the final days of Batman's career as Batman before retirement. And so we're shown this, and I like that because it's something that I don't think we've really seen a lot before in comics.
And for me, what I really liked is being able that Bruce is finally realizing that he is mortal, you know? Batman is always somebody who's been able to defy the odds and, you know, to...
defy physics in some cases.
To battle no matter what. But finally, like he's realizing, he's like, wow, I'm slowing down, I'm hurting. He's
will must give way to physics,
because he even says
point.
He's like, oh, my knees, thank God we're not jumping, or something like that. And so
I like that. I think Brian Azzarello, because I'm really crediting him with more of the writing on this. I may be wrong, but I think he's got a better understanding of the character of Batman at this point than Miller. Unlike Miller's recent portrayals of the Dark Knight, where Azzarello's Batman is not a sadist. He does not appear to take any pleasure in inflicting violence, and I think
that was a younger Batman too, because remember, he's trying to scare people, whereas this Batman, like I said, he's realizing.
But think about the Batman written by Frank Miller in Strikes Again and in Master Race. Yeah. He's a violent prick.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a violent prick, and
he's a drunk.
Yeah, and that's not this Batman. And I think the perfect way that he does this is through the storytelling. He has a contrast between him and his sidekick Robin, Jason Todd,
who's coming of age. It's kind of like that. As Jason's peaking, he's already past his peaking, going down.
Yeah. But Jason, what he notices is that he is kind of cold and callous toward the criminals that he encounters, and he's
Is it Jason?
Yeah, it's Jason Todd. Yeah, Jason's he's slowly kind of crossing the line that separates justice from vengeance, and it's a perfect contrast to Batman. There's a moment in the comic book where Batman's like, Jason, that's enough.
Right.
And there's a moment where there's a guy holding a hostage at gunpoint,
and he almost chops off the guy's arm.
Almost chops off the guy's arm with a batarang, and Batman's
he's like, you could have knocked the gun out of his hand.
You could have just knocked the gun out of his hand, and so I think using that as part of your storytelling really shows that the Batman's not a sadist. He uses violence to accomplish a goal, but he takes no pleasure in doing it. So I really like that. The setup looks like it could be almost kind of a nice alternative telling of the Death in the Family.
Yeah.
Because for those of you not familiar, Death in the Family it's a 1980s Batman story where we had the death of Robin, and
but that was by the fans though. Remember. So what basically happened is Robin gets captured, and at the end of that comic, they actually had 2 1-800 numbers, and what they were is, do you want to see Robin live? Or do you want to see Robin die? And they had 2 different numbers, and people would call. And they paid like 99 cents a minute for them to actually put in their vote. And they all voted. Like, literally, it was like 85% wanted him dead.
Look, I'm a nerd, I'm a geek, and I'll be the first one to say, we nerds have more money than we have sense a lot of times. So yeah, I think this could be a really interesting retelling of that story. And then lastly, of course, the artwork. I'm a big fan of John Romita Jr. This is interesting, though. John Romita Jr. is, he's got a very unique style, but I find when I look at this artwork, he's almost kind of adapting his style a little bit to have that Miller-esque quality.
I was just going to say that. I looked at it and I was like, oh, this looks like Year One all over again, It's
very interesting. Yeah. Romita's done a great job with this, so I really like this. That's the good for me. I didn't really have too many things I didn't like about it, and this is maybe a minor gripe. I'm curious to see what you didn't like about it, but so the bad thing for me is the women in this story don't age.
Well, and here's the thing. I was thinking about that because I saw what you said. Selena Kyle, yeah, she still kind of looks like a fox, but Bruce didn't age that much either. So, but you also got to understand, think about the everyday term and toil that Bruce's body has gone through. Mm-hmm. So yeah, his hair's gotten a little gray on the side, but that's really about it. So I wouldn't see Selena turning into an old hag. Now, Pamela, on the other hand,
Poison Ivy.
Not human.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a plant.
I mean,
so she's not going to age.
Maybe there's an explanation to that.
She's not going to age. What, would you expect her leaves to start turning brown or something?
That'd be kind of interesting.
Okay.
But I felt like it was kind of a missed opportunity. They hit on it a little bit in kind of, Selena talking about how she just grew out of wanting to be Catwoman and how it was no longer fun for her.
How funny is that? The villain / hero goes, it wasn't fun anymore.
Meh.
Take it or leave it.
Whatevs.
Take it or leave it.
So maybe, this is only issue 1 of it's, I don't know if it's 4 or 6 issue series.
Yeah, I don't know.
But maybe they'll go more in depth with that, but I the idea of if you're going to age Batman and kind of address what it means to be an aging vigilante, I think it'd be interesting as a counterpoint to see what does it mean to be an aging villain. Oh my God! I didn't leave this out.
You know, another thing too, like Waylon Jones, I love the way they portrayed him now.
Killer Croc. Yeah.
He looks more like just this big dude with scales.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, absolutely. Total thug. Total thug.
Yeah.
I gotta mention also. I mean, I got a couple favorite things that I liked about this. Favorite
I
moments.
do too.
As you're looking through the, Chris is scrolling through the comic book right now. So I'm gonna give you the runner up first, but then I'm gonna give you my favorite moment. The runner up is I love the part where he's fighting Croc, and Croc's got Batman in his hold.
Yeah.
And Batman hits him, and you see pop, and you get the sense of just the sheer impotence of his punches.
It's not working anymore.
It's not working anymore, and like Croc's even surprised. He's like, "Whoa, man! Like that's all you got? Like, dude, you are over the hill, man!" And proceeds to just kick his ass. I liked that. It really shows this is a Batman that's way past his prime.
Yeah.
But by far, I think my favorite moment in this story is we see the Joker. The story opens with the Joker being locked up in Arkham.
Now, mind you, there's something that I'll get real quick with the Joker.
Yeah.
Didn't like. I love that he's got the green hair. I love that he's all white and everything like that. I don't like that. It looks to me that the red smile is being added by makeup.
Yeah.
I don't like that, but
and that was
I'm a purist.
And that was an original plot point, or not, I don't know if it was a plot point, but that was something consistent, I should say, with Dark Knight Returns.
No, absolutely.
He'd apply it as lipstick.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Chris, we kind of steamrolled over that part. What did you not like about this?
No.
story?
I totally agreed with you.
I know the Dark Knight. You don't really care for the Dark Knight Returns. It's not your favorite.
For me though, this isn't a Dark Knight story.
Okay.
For me, this is a totally different Batman. Like you said, he's not an angry prick. He's not a drunk. He's not fat and old.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce is still in shape. Bruce is still being able to take care of things.
He's not fat Batman.
No,
he's not fat man.
And he's trying with Jason. And you know how Jason is. I mean, the guy becomes the Red Hood, and he starts murdering people.
Yeah.
So.
And you see that start to emerge in there. There's a scene where Batman's engaged in a car chase with some of the Joker's men, and the Joker's men's car flips over. And what does Batman do? He's like, quick, get him out of the car so that we can save them. And one of the Joker's men pulls out a gun, and Robin lands on him, plants his
crushes him
in the car. But then, even worse, the car explodes or something, and they mention something about steam and blood. And oh my God.
Yeah.
So you see that emerging callousness and violence in Jason. Really good.
Honestly, I'll tell you, I don't think there's a lot here that I don't like. I like the portrayal of Batman. Me, like I told you, I understood the continuously, but I don't. My Batman design, I like the black bat across the chest.
Right. And we talked about this a little bit before the show. That, for me, makes it's consistent with the storytelling of Dark Knight Returns, because at the beginning of Dark Knight Returns, he starts out with the yellow oval costume, then later transitions to the black bat costume. One other thing, just before we move on to favorite moment, I'm not certain that we necessarily needed this story. I mean, for me, Dark Knight Returns was such a great story, but I'll say this, I'm glad we're getting it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I'm glad
this is something I didn't know I needed.
Yeah, exactly. So it's always nice to have those moments. So since I kind of rolled over you on the bad point, why don't you? What was the favorite? Did you have a favorite moment in this?
I do. There's two actually. One of them is after a night on patrol, Bruce gets up. And it's just simple. He's got to go to the bathroom. He needs help. Alfred has to carry him. Because it shows his knees are crap, his legs are crap, arms are crap. And he's going and he's taking aspirin. And you're not expecting that, but he needs that help. And you see him. And Jason asks him, he goes, "Hey, are we gonna train today?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll be right there."
Fuck, I forgot about that. Son of a bitch.
That actually goes into my other favorite moment is his training with Jason. Jason is always that hothead. He's always, I'm better than you. And blah. He's almost. I think
he's a millennial.
Well, I think it's,
is that what you're gonna say?
No. It's the millennial before he's a millennial.
Fucking millennial.
No, but I think that Jason and Damian are pretty much the same person.
They're
they're
similar.
really
Sure.
close.
Sure.
But Damian is kicking Bruce's ass, and Bruce knows it.
Yeah.
And then Bruce goes a little above and beyond and puts him in this shoulder lock and almost breaks his shoulder, and he's tapping out. And he says, if your opponent knows what you're going to do, then you've already lost.
Yeah, yeah.
And he says...
So still showing that Batman is, Jason may be hot shit, but Batman still got enough to take him.
Kick his ass. But he says to him, the arm will be sore for a while. Try and make sure your ego isn't. So, you know, he's still trying to keep him in check. I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, this shows that mentoring... And they also go into, well, Robin is just a boy. I can see Batman going through it. He's an adult. He's going through these terrible situations and everything. They talk about it on the TV, actually. Yeah. And they're talking about Robin. And they're like, but he's just a boy. Does he deserve all of that?
Oh, the commentators.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have these commentators.
And they're going on about it. But in this, it shows, he's a boy. He's a warrior, though. And Bruce is mentoring him. You're seeing the mentoring.
Yeah.
And Bruce is actually mentoring him to do what? To become Batman.
Yeah, yeah. And, it's a good point for so many people that would, the argument is, why would someone like Batman endanger a child by putting him in the line of fire? And I think this sort of turns that on its head in that it's not that he's putting the child in the line of fire. The child is Jason's putting himself in the line of fire. Bruce is just making sure that he has the tools to not get himself killed. Yeah. He knows that he's not going to be able to dissuade him from doing this. Right. And I like that.
You know, it's another one of my favorites I loved. They're driving their motorcycles. They're chasing after the Joker's gang, and they're firing their guns. And they've got these little bat shields over the front of the motorcycles. Yeah. And they're bulletproof.
Yeah.
But to me, that shows Bruce's planning. You know, like when he built the bike, he's like, okay, people are obviously going to be
shooting at us.
Let's have these to kind of keep them out of the way. Yeah. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, that's kind of a neat idea.
From an aesthetic perspective, too, they just look kind of cool.
And they look like classic Batman.
Yeah, they look cool.
Yeah. So, what about you?
Well, my other favorite moment, other than the Killer Croc scene, was I love the scenes with Joker. And I love how when he gets into the asylum, there's moments of dialogue that they show where he begins to just cause chaos in the asylum.
Just a little bit at a time.
Just
and then
kind
all
of
a
slowly
sudden,
kind of nudges.
He's that guy, he's poking until it blows up.
Yeah, and just kind of poking the beehive and just stirring up shit. And I love that. And there are moments you see kind of the aftermath. The Joker has talked the inmates into doing just horrible things to themselves. One, he talked into gouging his own eyes out.
One cutting his fingers off.
Yeah, eating them. He was like, you really should try them. They're delicious, just like the Joker said they would be. Yeah. He really is like sort of like the agent provocateur, or he's like a great metaphor for like almost the devil. He kind of
he's that suggestion.
He's the evil suggestion.
He's the evil devil on your shoulder. He's like in the cartoons,
Yeah. So that was a favorite moment for me.
And what's cool with it too, I noticed in the comic book, and it's kind of a weird thing that they did, but did you notice when Batman and Robin are around, look how dark everything is. It's all dark blues and everything. Now, when we look at the Joker, look at
it's almost black and white.
Everything is just white.
It's
and
white,
bright.
Yeah,
and and he's kind of like melding into like the walls and I thought that was kind of a neat concept.
That's such a great
contrast where it shows both, but it has him sitting in the middle of the mental ward smoking a cigarette, and everybody's just going batshit crazy. And he's used to the chaos, and he's kind of
crazy. Batshit crazy. I like what you did there, sir.
All right, man.
Yeah, I like that. So I recommend this. It sounds like you recommend this too, Chris. Great. Let's move on to our next book. We're going to be talking about Titans Rebirth.
Yes.
And you really like this.
I loved this.
You really like this. So this was written by Dan Abnett. Penciler was Brett Booth, and inker was Norm Rapmond. Retails for about $2.99 at your local comic book store on Comixology.
But it's a 22-page comic, so
yeah, I like what DC's doing with the price of their comics. They're on the one hand they're having books come out more frequently, so in a way you are spending more money. But if you were only going to pick up one book, you're not going to be paying as much as you used to. The premise of this is we're coming.
They brought back the Titans.
They brought back the Teen Titans. So this is spinning out right out of the events of Rebirth number 1.
And they're not really Teen Titans anymore. They're on their own their own Justice League, if you will.
Yeah,
because they're adults now.
They're looking to separate them a bitch from a bitch. They're looking to separate them a bitch. I don't know what that means, but That sounds like it could be kind of cool.
Anyway.
I don't know. So this is Wally West, the Kid Flash,
has returned.
Or Flash 3. He's returned.
Is that what we're calling him now? Is he Flash 3? Is that what they're doing?
Well, I don't think he's going to be Kid Flash. I think he's his own Flash.
He's Wally.
He's Wally. He's Wally Flash. If you want to call him Wally Flash, we can call him Wally Flash.
Because he's got the red suit now.
He does. He's got the red suit. It's just more of it's kind of a cross
Wally.
between the Flash costume and his Kid Flash costume. So this is basically him reconnecting with his former teammates, the Teen Titans. What'd you like about this?
Oh man,
you really like this.
I did, and I like the way that it started because it shows them in their prime as the Teen Titans. They were a team. They were, best friends who not only saved each other's lives, but they were in each other's lives nonstop. They were best friends. They all knew each other. They knew like everything about them.
When you went away to college and you had a bunch of friends and all y'all lived in the same dorm or something like that, right. Or a cult or something like that. That might just be my experience.
Yeah, whatever. But and it shows them in the beginning like getting these photographs, and it's a photograph that they all have that they hang on to, and for some reason Wally has it. They don't have it.
You're allowed to keep souvenirs in the Speed Force.
I guess, but. And then he's looking through, because he's got it. He's got a photo book, and he's got it.
But you notice he's not in it.
Oh, that's right.
He's not in it. Look, they did a little Back to the Future on us.
Look at that shit.
Look at that, right?
So, but anyway, and where he is, he's in Dick Grayson's apartment. And you see Nightwing, and what are you doing in my apartment? He looks at me and goes, whoa, Dick, calm down. And he's like, I don't know how you know my name. And he goes to hit him, and what's really cool is he actually says... when he's chasing after him, he goes, whoa, I've forgotten how fast Nightwing could be. For him saying that, Nightwing's ready to beat his ass. And he goes to put hands on him, and what happens? He gets shocked. He gets electric, hit by the Speed Force.
Yeah. Little.
And then he looks at me and he goes, damn, Wally, did you have to hit me? And all of a sudden he stops and he goes, Wally?
Oh, shit.
He's like, I know you, but I don't know how I know you.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, and then... as they're going through and they're finally together.
They do a little kind of like tag. Almost kind of like, I don't know, it felt like a game of tag to me.
Yeah, kind of. And then, basically, I guess Nightwing had set an alarm. Because then the rest of the Titans show up to kick his ass.
Yeah.
And then each one of them touch him, and then all of a sudden, bang, 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 the Titans remember who Wally is.
They each get zapped.
Yeah.
They touch him, and it's like...
and Wally says, he goes, I let them touch me. Because he...
Whoa, hang on.
Right. Right.
Where did they touch you?
Yeah.
Show me.
Show me on this Flash action figure.
Show me on this Flash action figure. Where did the Titans touch you?
But each one of them, they become, they're all of a sudden they all remember him.
They have their memories are back.
Yeah, just like that.
Okay, all right.
And even still with one of the Titans, I keep forgetting her name. I don't even know who the hell she is.
I didn't know who she is either. She's dressed all in green. I don't know. They're trying to like shoehorn her in.
She's almost like Miss Martian. Did you notice that? She's
a telepath.
Yeah.
She was a redhead in the flashbacks, and now she's all green for some reason. I don't know who that is.
Just give me a moment.
I'm not as up on it. Well, while you're looking that up, I'll just mention some of the other things I liked about this. We get our first look at Wally's new Flash costume, which is kind of a combination of his Kid Flash costume with his pre-52 costume. There's some nice moments of nostalgia for old readers, and it gives background to new readers. And for me, it was nice seeing Dick Grayson as Nightwing again. I didn't like the whole you're a secret agent kind of thing. DC, sorry, if you want to have a secret agent character, just make a secret agent character. Don't take an established character that has no ties to Secret Service, whatever.
And they gave him a gun.
They gave him a gun, and just I just did not like that at all. So I'm glad he's back as Nightwing.
Like? The hijinks, like him and Dick are talking about. He goes, "Hey, do you remember that time?" And they're like, "Yeah." And basically, what it is they both broke into the Bat Cave, and they jump in the Batmobile. And he goes, "You're allowed to drive this?" He goes, "Yeah, if we don't get caught."
Yeah, that's cool.
And he's like, "I remember that," And
yeah, and it's like when you have someone that you've been friends with for a really long time. And I know you. I moved around a lot as a kid, so I don't have those friends, unfortunately, that I've known for very long.
But
you do.
I
You
do.
do.
I know
So I'm sure
exactly.
it's like when you get together with friends of yours and you reminisce about, oh, remember the
Remember we
time
used
that,
to get
that
into
this
this?
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you can relate to that. I have a feeling that I have more things about this book that I didn't like than you did. So
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm just going to go over the things I didn't like, and I'm happy you enjoyed it. For me, the fight with the Titans felt a little forced.
Yeah, but that's their job.
I felt like, well, we need to have an obligatory. We think Wally's the bad guy, so we're going to show up and fight him moment, and it felt a little forced to me. The entire issue of just Wally zapping the memories back into the Titans, I just, that's basically what the whole issue is about, and for me, it didn't do much to move the overall story forward. We're not given any more clues about what's happening in the DC universe, so yes, while it was nice, I guess I wanted more as far as the overall story. So I mean, those are my complaints about it. Was there
That's
anything?
not much.
Was there anything you didn't like about it?
Yeah, I could see the forced,
Because Dick recognized who he was. He goes, Wally, oh man, I know you. At that point, at that moment, why is Dick not saying to the guys?
He tries. He even says to him, he goes, whoa, 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 and then they're still going after him because they're in attack mode. That's their job.
Yeah.
So
nothing you really disliked about this?
No.
All right.
I love the art. I'm curious at what they're gonna call Wally. I want to know what his superhero name's because we don't really know.
Yeah, that's true.
What's kind of weird for me is I'm not familiar with Garth, and what's kind of
Aqualad?
Yeah.
No.
So it's kind of cool seeing him and how they're portraying him, and apparently, looks like he's a water sorcerer, like like a lot of them.
Yeah.
And because they also did Young Justice, and they put Garth in it, but he's very quick.
He was kind of a side character. Yeah. Really, it was
Lagon.
What's his name?
Lagon.
Yeah, he was the main. He was Aqualad.
He was Aqualad. So it just depends on who they grab. I mean, apparently they have 6 of them.
Favorite moment?
Yeah, I definitely think the he says they're all been got their memories back, and he goes, the best part about this is I'm home.
That's nice.
He's finally back, and he's like, okay, people are so now I'm wondering, does he have to walk up to each Justice League member? Touch, 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 touch.
What the hell, man?
Yeah. Remember me. Remember me.
I remember you. Yeah, and I remember actually you owe me like $100.
Crap, I shouldn't have touched you.
Oh, motherfucker.
All right.
Yeah, and you already mentioned one of my favorite moments, which was during the fight when Nightwing finally remembers who he is, and he's like, "Did you tase me? What the hell, Wally?"
Like all of a sudden.
Oh, wait a minute, Wally.
Yeah.
It didn't quite have the resonance of the Wally moment with Flash.
You notice,
with Barry
ours,
Allen.
it's been Wally,
Yeah, but it was a nice moment.
Yeah. No, I agree.
All right, so we're going to talk about a comic book that I hadn't had on the agenda, but you and I were just talking about it, and we really liked it. This was one of the new DC Comics post the Batman one shot, and it was Detective Comics, right?
Yes, it was. Hold on, let me have it.
This I'll give a little bit of
Detective Comics number 934.
934. So we're returning to the original numbering, right? So don't get confused. You didn't miss a whole bunch of issues. They're returning to the original numbering, and I normally have like who the artist was, and because I don't have it in the agenda, I don't have that. I'm sorry, but it's $2.99 retails for $2.99.
Hold on, keep going.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll give you kind of an outline of the plot, and then Chris, if you want to mention the artist and the writer, you can do that. So what happens in this issue? This is Batman kind of rallying the troops. He kind of recognizes that Gotham has all of these vigilantes that are sort of working independently. He recognizes that there's a danger approaching the city, and so he wants to put together a team. And so this follows him as he recruits people like Batwoman, recruits people like Spoiler,
Red Robin,
yum, Red Robin, yum.
So anyway,
we see Azrael in this.
But he's kind of a dick.
He's getting his ass handed to him.
Yeah,
so he should.
He's getting his ass handed
to him by someone. And
But
and,
it's a fake Batman. We don't know who this Batman is.
Yeah. There's a fake Batman that's kicking the shit out of
And it's not
of
Gotham.
Azrael.
We've realized it's not Gotham.
What do you mean it's not Gotham?
Gotham is this new character in the other Rebirth of Superman. Remember with the plane?
We're going to talk about that next episode,
Yeah.
but no, we never talked about it next episode. Okay, so quick.
So anyway,
In Batman series, there's someone who shows up calls himself Gotham. Apparently has super strength, flight, all of that. That's not who kicks the shit out of Azrael.
Detective Comics was written by James Tynion IV. Good for you. Art and cover by Eddie Burrows and Eber Ferreira.
Okay.
And then the variant cover was Raphael Albuquerque.
Okay.
So, just wanted to make sure everybody got their comeuppance.
Thank you. So let's just get into the good. You and I really like this.
Yeah. So they get, you also got to tell the rest of the team. We got to tell the one member of the team that we're not expecting.
Yeah. Well, we got Clayface. Who's traditionally been a Bat villain.
That's right.
But they do something really interesting with him in this, and I think this is probably, I know your favorite moment, might be my favorite moment also in the comic book. It's definitely,
I think, my top one, because I have two, but I think that one is definitely my favorite. So let's talk with the good.
I like to see a Batman, again, just sort of return more, portrayed in a way that sort of returns to the classic depiction of him. I mean, this is someone who wants to be the guardian of the city, but
but he also realizes he needs help.
He needs help.
He needs a Bat family.
He needs help. He doesn't come off as a dick.
No.
I mean, that whole interaction that he has with Batwoman is saying, I don't want you to work for me. I want you to work with me.
Right.
And he recognizes that, no, I don't want you to be my lackey. I want you to lead and train this team.
And the other thing that they realize is he actually reveals himself as Bruce Wayne to her. And he says...
And I love that she knew who he was already.
Right. And she pulled a Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and she knew who he was.
I knew who you were. First time I see this fucking guy, I'm like, this guy is Batman.
Right. So anyway, but he says to her, he goes... She asks why do you want me? Why do you want me on your team? And he says, because we're family, Kate. He says, I may not be a Kane, but my mother was. So we're showing that Batgirl and him are cousins.
They're related. Yeah,
they're related.
Really interesting. Yeah. What do you think about the overall idea of, because this kind of touches on it, giving Batman a family?
That was the thing.
What do you think about that?
I'm really excited for that because for the longest time, it's always been, I've been alone, I've been alone, I've been alone, I've been alone. And that's why he got Robin and Alfred. And, he had Alfred since birth, but, that's
He's
why...
never really been alone, though.
No.
He's never really been alone.
You never wondered about extended family. Does he have brother or cousins? Does he have aunt, uncle? Does he, was it just alone and there's just them or what? But now we finally see that. And I like it.
I like the idea.
It gives him someone he can trust.
He lost his family when his parents died, but he's been putting together his own family.
I mean, even still, like his best friend, Tommy, is somebody he had his entire life. Although Tommy kind of just went off the deep end. But... Spoilers. You should have read Hush by now.
Yeah, you should have read Hush by now. But yeah, his childhood friend turns out to be Hush.
A serial killer.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, they reveal that they're related. I really like all of the moments we have with the different characters here, where we get introduced to Spoiler and Red Robin and
Orphan.
Orphan. So
we'll get with that.
Oh my god, yeah. So that's maybe something I don't like about it. I guess
it's basically the Batgirl suit, but she's not. It's Cassandra.
It's Cassandra Cain, who was Batgirl in the pre-52 universe.
K-A-N-E, like Batwoman. It's
no.
C-A-I-N. So now we have two Canes. It's kind of weird.
It's going to be a little confusing.
Little convoluted.
So her name is Orphan.
No.
I'm not sure I like that.
She's a ninja.
Yeah, okay. She's Orphan Ninja.
All right.
She's like Little Orphan Annie crossed with, like, I don't know, Hamato Yoshi.
So wait, we were talking about.
And we've got Duke Thomas.
Are we still talking about the good?
Yeah, we're still.
But we were talking about the bad. Then all of a sudden we went to the bad. So I didn't know where we went.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, are there other good things you like about the? We're gonna get to the.
I'm curious about the story. The story's really interesting to me. I mean, we have another Batman killing people, and you see Azrael getting his ass handed to by, and he says, Batman shows up. And he looks at me and goes, who did this to you? And he looks, he goes, you did.
You did, yeah.
You did this.
Yeah.
So we don't know who this is.
Adds a little bit of mystery, yeah. How about the fact that the villain, whoever it is using drones? to spy on people.
Little bat drone.
He seems to know who everyone is.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. So yeah, this story definitely sets up some suspense.
And what's cool for me is it being Detective Comics. This is a detective story.
Yeah.
That's what I've always liked about the Detective Comics. Those are my favorite Batmans to read. They're detective stories.
Yeah, I like that.
So,
agreed.
What didn't you like?
I think I talked about it already. Really,
I've got two.
Okay,
like
go,
I said,
go ahead.
Orphan. I'm not a fan of. I think it's cool. Obviously, they can't have her as Batgirl because Barbara Gordon is still Batgirl. Because we've already seen the images of her as Batgirl. She's not Oracle anymore. She's not in a wheelchair. Apparently, she can walk now.
But do we have to be so rigid with this stuff? I mean, it's a really big world. You're telling me you can't have more than one person dressing up as Batgirl and calling themselves Batgirl?
Batman Incorporated, they could have two different themes, but they
absolutely,
never did.
Yeah.
But anyway, the other thing I don't like, and this is just like aesthetics for me, I do not like the new Red Robin suit. It is the old Jason Todd 80s Robin costume, but then they just put a double R on the chest. How stupid are you?
That is, yeah.
Shame on you.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Shame on you.
Shame on you. You know what? Just get rid of the letter. Just get rid of the. You don't need the letter. Just RR is just.
Put him back in his suit. That it was. I like the 52 suit. He had wings. He had all this kind of stuff. Even the Kingdom Come, where he kind of looked like Space Ghost. You know,
I would have preferred that one. They had him in that suit for a while. I like that one. You don't. I think in an age where we're going more toward comic book superhero costumes that are more about functionality.
I mean, even Cassandra's still got the stitching. It's the Batgirl costume. They just clip the ears.
But what I was gonna say is now it's more about function over form.
Yeah.
You don't need to have letters on costumes anymore.
Yeah, but
you'll know who he is.
Yeah, but the thing is also,
he's a Robin. He's red.
Well, that's the thing. No, because they would still call him Robin. And now he's like, I'm Red Robin.
You see the first R?
Well, that's the thing.
That's for red.
That's why, like, Nightwing didn't want to be called Robin anymore. So what did he do? He went completely the opposite and got himself in black and blue. He didn't want to be remembered as Robin.
Right.
The only people who remember him as Robin are, like, the villains.
Yeah.
Remember, like, Joker looks at him and he goes, oh, bird boy, you and your big boy pants. You
know?
Oh,
yeah, I like that.
He's doing stuff like that. But, I mean, you want to get away from the moniker Robin, go look like something else.
Call yourself something else. Yeah. I mean, I'd say that's about it. That's all I don't like. Let's get to our favorite moment in this comic book, because I think I'm in agreement.
So, like I told you, the one that I like is Bruce revealing himself, and he's like, we're family, to Batwoman, which is kind of cool. But it's kind of like, you know, that buddy movie where, hey, we need this person, and this person, and they're kind of going along and recruiting, and they're kind of hopping along and doing.
Yeah.
But the last person they're going to get, you don't expect, is Basil Karlo, is
AKA
Clayface.
This is just a little quick Wikipedia on Clayface. So this was an actor who I may not be getting the current origin. I'm going to present to you the Paul Dini origin.
I was going to say, do the Paul Dini.
So this basically an actor who was using this sort of chemical on his face that allowed him to literally make himself the man of 1,000 faces.
Well, also to kind of stay young too, because he was starting to age. And as an actor, that's your,
that's your bread and butter. Yeah. But as a result of constantly using this material, his face became disfigured. He owed some money to some gangsters. I think they poured this chemical down his throat.
It was a giant vat of it, and they just dumped him in it.
They dumped him in it,
absorbed it.
They poured it down his throat too, and then he turned into this shapeless mass known as Clayface, who has the ability to look like anyone or anything for periods of time.
Also to turn his hands, body into any substance.
Like improvised weapons, axes, or like wings.
He'll put people like inside of him and smother them, and then spit them out. And
he's kind of like the Blob a little bit.
Yeah.
Sort of like the Blob.
Now we're not Blob X-Men, Blob like
horror films. Yeah.
Literal Blob, not fat guy.
Yeah, not fat guy from X-Men. So he goes. So this is the last person that Batman goes to recruit, Basil Karlo, aka Clayface. So where does he find him, Chris?
He finds him at the theater, and it says one night only. It says Metamorphosis. The movie is called Metamorphosis, restored in 35 millimeter, and you see people running out, and they're screaming, and they're like, "Oh my god, a monster!" And you go into the theater and you see it playing, and there's this beautiful image. I absolutely loved it.
I agree.
It's this long bar, and you see the movie playing, and there's Clayface, and he's sitting right in the middle of the theater. And now, mind you, he's a monster. He's huge. He's like, 7 or 8 feet tall. He's like 4 foot wide. He's taken up like 6 or 7 of the chairs. But he's sitting there, and he's got his knees tucked in, and he's holding his knees just in awe watching his movie. And
Clayface is such a tragic character, and that panel captures that so well.
And you hear Batman say Clayface, and he turns and he goes, "Ah, damn it." And he says to him, he says, "They wouldn't shut up. I just wanted the place to myself, so I scared them a little. I didn't hurt anybody or anything." And Batwoman looks at him and he says, "You broke out of Arkham for this? To watch a movie?"
Mm-hmm.
And he says to her, he goes, "See that handsome guy right there? The one with those blue eyes that look into your soul?" He goes, "That's Basil Carlo." And you look back at this face, and his eyes are yellow, and his face is like melting, and he's like, "That's me."
Yeah.
And he's saying to him, he says, he goes, "There was talk that year that I was going to win an Oscar." He says, "But then the accident happened." So that was his last movie.
Yeah.
That was his last thing. And he says, can you just let me finish the movie, and then you can take me back to Arkham?" He goes, "Can we just finish it?" And Batman says to him,
it's so sad. It's such a human moment. Like, this is all this is a guy saying, "Man, this is all I have left of me.
This is
like,
all I want.
I'm a monster now. This is all I have left of me."
Right. And he's like, the movie's only 84 minutes long with the credits. He goes, "Just let me be that person for a little bit longer. I won't even put up a fight." And he's begging him. And then Batman says, "What if I could give you more than that?" And if you look at his face.
He's
got a smirk on his
smiling.
face. He's not being that dick Batman. He wants to change him.
And this really shows in that moment, again, a great characterization of Batman. He doesn't want to beat the shit out of these people.
No.
He wants them to just stop doing bad things,
right.
And he'll use violence to stop them if need be, but ultimately he wants to help these people.
Yeah.
And,
and Batwoman's against it. She's like, "I don't know about this. This guy's a criminal."
Right.
But he, like you said, he says, "I believe the only thing different between the man sitting in front of me and the man up on the screen was an accident." He says, "I can give you your life back," which means he might be able to change him back to make him human.
Maybe that, but even Chris, I think even deeper than that, a purpose.
Oh, we learned a life lesson.
Give him a purpose. Give him a purpose. Use this.
Well, you remember, actually, it was kind of funny. Spider-Man did this with the Sandman. They kind of changed him to kind of become a hero.
Yeah.
So for this, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
That they're like, "You're a good person. You were a good person before." And
you had a bad thing happen to you.
And you were angry at the world. And now let's change that.
And you don't have to let that bad thing define you, which is essentially all of what Batman's about. Yeah. Take all of his rogues galleries, right?
They've all had something bad happen.
All had bad days. Yeah. You take the Killing Joke, right?
Yeah.
Seminal Batman story, right? And it's all about, when a bad day happens to you, do you choose to do good or do you choose to do evil? Yeah. And Batman's the ultimate example of, when you have something bad happen to you, don't allow that to define you. Don't let that turn you into an evil person.
Right.
Use it to do good. And that moment, that conveys the essence of Batman. It's great. It's why I read comic books.
Like I said, if that's one image, that image of Clayface on there, I'm going to try to find a way. I want it somewhere in my house.
It's great.
Because I just love that image. I love... And this is a really complex character, too. Like I said, he was the toast of the town. He was the actor, the known actor.
He was like the Brad Pitt.
And now all of a sudden, just boom! Something terrible happens to him. He's angry at the world, and he wants to... But anything that he breaks into, what is he trying to do? He's trying to restore himself, trying to bring you back.
The crimes. Yeah, the crimes that he's committed are to try to either get revenge on the people that did this to him or to cure himself. Yeah, exactly. Okay, we're about 43 minutes in, so we've got to go kind of quickly through these next couple items. We've only got one thing in movie talk to really talk about, and then one thing in Toy Box. So let's go into our... Oh, but before we move on to that, do you have an opinion about any of these comic books that we've read today?
I'll tell you right now, I'm excited about the Rebirth, and I don't know if you guys are excited or not, but, let us know. We need to know. Go on to our email. It's justusnerdspc@gmail.com. We're on SoundCloud. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. Pretty much anywhere you can find social media, we're there. We want to hear from you guys.
Yeah, we want to hear from you all the way from Bulgaria, or if you're in England. That's another thing I wanted to mention.
Yeah.
I am so pleased. I've been looking on our SoundCloud, and we've got some new followers. We are so excited. I just wanted to say a hearty hello and good day.
Cheers.
Cheers. To our friends across the pond, the Master Debaters. Actually reached
the Master Debaters podcast.
I love that name. That's such an awesome name, Master Debaters. We just want to say, cheers, mates. Thank you so much for reaching out to me. Like Nerd, like Son. That was
there's another great team.
I love the artwork that I saw on there. We've just been reached out and touched by some people. So we want to reach out and we want to reach out and touch back.
We want to touch you too.
We want to touch you too. You've touched us. Now we want to touch you. There's going to be a whole lot of touching going on. But yeah. Let us know what you think about the show. Let us know what you think about the topics, and we'll definitely be sure to read what you say.
All right, what's going on in the movie world?
All right, so I had a topic to talk about today was Spider-Man: Homecoming, and I just want to mention what we know so far, and kind of get your thoughts on it. Okay?
Michael Keaton is the bad guy.
Well, so we know Michael Keaton's confirmed as the main villain.
Beetlejuice on a glider.
Beetlejuice on a glider. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
He's probably playing the Falcon or the Vulture.
The Vulture, right? We know Marissa Tomei is going to be there. Robert Downey Jr. Hot Aunt May. Robert Downey Jr. Both reprising their roles. Here are a couple new additions that I'm not sure what to make of these.
Okay.
I don't know that I think probably good things, but I don't know.
Okay.
Donald Glover. Do you know who he is?
Oh, yeah, the name sounds familiar.
All right. Well, if you've ever seen the show Community, he was on it.
Yeah. Okay.
He was. You remember Abed and I can't remember the two guys that were friends, the Indian guy and the black guy.
Yeah.
He was the black guy.
Okay.
He was also played the aerospace physicist in the movie The Martian.
Yes.
Did you ever see? He was a kind of aloof guy.
Yes.
So he's being added to the cast.
I wonder who he's going to be.
I don't know. Well, this is a really big deal because Donald Glover has been. I don't know how aware you are. He's been really involved with Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
Did you
No,
know
I
that?
did not know that.
Well, first of all, he's the voice of Miles Morales on the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon.
Do you think he could be Miles?
I don't know. I mean, that would be kind of interesting, right?
Uh-huh.
I think he'd be a little old to play Miles Morales, though. I think he's probably like in his 20s. And they're doing a younger Spider-Man. He also originally, back when they were doing the reboot with Andrew Garfield, there was a huge petition
to have him as Spider-Man.
To have him be Spider-Man. So I don't know, but I think it's really cool that they've added him. I don't know in what capacity he will be in there.
Good. He's part of the Spider-Verse. Let's have him in it.
Yeah. We've got Logan Marshall Green, who I've got double question marks because I honestly don't know him. I can tell you what he's from because I looked it up.
Okay.
He was in Prometheus. He was the guy that kind of was the love interest to our lead, our female lead. Looks a hell of a lot like Tom Hardy.
I was just gonna say, I'm like, why is Tom Hardy on the
Why do
page?
you have a picture of Tom Hardy on there? Yeah, I
know you've got one in your bedroom with a heart around it, but I don't know why you have one here.
That's personal, Chris.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'll thank you to leave my personal affairs out of this.
He likes to talk like this and you may be cuddled in the night. I was created cuddling in the night.
We've got so we don't know who he's going to play. I've just said that he's going to play a secondary villain character.
Flash Thompson.
You think he's going to... I don't think Flash Thompson... I don't know.
He's older. He's bigger. He's going to beat the crap out of Spider-Man.
It's interesting. I don't know. And then we've got this actress, Zendaya.
Yeah.
Who, again, this double question mark.
Stunning fuck.
She's beautiful. I don't know what her age is, so I don't know if, legally I'm allowed to lust after this person.
I'll say it anyway.
Or not.
She's attractive.
You're going to say... She is.
She's attractive.
She's quite attractive. If she's under 18, she's a very beautiful young lady. If she's over 18, she's smoking hottie. So that did not come off creepy at all whatsoever.
No, not at all.
She's cast as the female lead, and I don't know. I honestly don't know what they're, who she's going to play. She doesn't look like Mary Jane or Gwen Stacy.
No, she doesn't.
So maybe they're creating a new character. I don't know. But anyway, I mean, that's what we know so far about Spider-Man: Homecoming. I've been excited about this movie ever since we saw Spider-Man in Civil War.
Oh yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to this. And
does she have a first name?
She does have a first name, but she is a.
She goes by Zendaya.
I did a little bit of research, and she's a Disney. I'm sorry, this is going to sound offensive. She's a Disney brat.
Oh.
She's a Disney brat. She's kind of like, she came out of that Disney factory. I think she's on a show on Disney, and she's a musician.
She's 19.
She's 19. Okay,
Hey!
good. Yay!
Yay!
Okay, well,
We're
I mean, being 38, that's still kind of creepy.
That's on you, not me.
But not illegal. Okay. But yeah, she's gonna be in it. So with all due respect to you, Zendaya, you're very beautiful. I don't know
Anyway.
who you're gonna play.
All right.
I hope you do a good job. Anything
right.
else you want to say about this?
No.
No. All right. Do you have thoughts about this? Let us know.
Absolutely.
Do you think I'm creepy? Let me know.
Yeah, I want to hear that.
Yeah,
I really want to hear that. I want to hear someone call it creepy.
Jay sounds really creepy.
Yes.
I will no longer be listening to your podcast. I will no longer.
I will tell you though, he's not a mouth breather, so life's pretty good.
I'm not a mouth breather, so I mean that's I got
There's
that going
that.
for me.
All right.
which is nice. Toy box. You brought this to my attention.
Once again, I'm telling you, man, I find these things left and right.
You find gold, man. This is
My favorite company in the world.
Mezco.
Man, these guys just keep putting it out.
Yeah, they are doing a really
Mezco,
good job.
we keep giving you free advertisement, man. Come
on.
on, hook me up.
Hook us up, just a little swag, little stomach, throw it our way, little something. Come
I've
on,
already talked about 3 of your figures.
man.
All right. So who else that they want to do? They did Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
They did the Green Arrow.
They did Space Ghost.
They did Space Ghost.
Punisher.
Daredevil.
Captain
America in the stealth suit.
Right.
I know I'm missing one. Oh wait, how about the new one? Superman,
the Man of Steel himself. All right, so this is in their 112 figure series.
Yep. And this is in his suit is the classic bona fide Superman, red boots, red underwear,
red briefs. He's
got the V-cut boots.
This is our Superman, Chris.
Yes.
So this retails for about $75,
which isn't terrible. It's not Walmart exclusive, but it's not terrible.
No, you're getting a lot with this.
So here's the thing.
It's a high quality figure.
Tell me what you're getting, man.
All right. Well, first of all, the sculpting on this is highly is very realistic.
Posable.
Very posable, over 32 points of articulation. But I think the coolest thing that comes with this is all of the little add-ons.
Listen to all the little add-ons.
All the little add-ons. So you're gonna get. I'm saving the best for last. All right.
Please.
So we're gonna get different types of fists, fighting fists, flying hands, posing hands. We're gonna have the bottled city of Kandor.
You get little Kandor. I saw that. I was like,
comes
oh,
with
look
them. Set of 2 posable chains, so you can have him breaking out of the chains.
That's cool.
Kryptonite, meteorite, but my favorite, I think.
This is what sold me. I looked at this. Now Mezco has this ability. They love to magnetize things.
Mm-hmm.
Like with Captain Marvel, they have the lightning bolt coming from his chest as he's calling Shazam. On the Flash, that's the other one, the Flash figure that I'm buying. They have the Flash running, they have the lightning coming off of his boots and his hands. But for this one, what do they have?
We have the bullets ricocheting off of his chest.
It has them showing flex, and they're just ricocheting off.
That's
and it's showing
awesome.
that action.
That's
it's so cool.
That is really cool. I'll tell you, Chris, you know that I tend to keep my what I pay for figures usually $20 and below.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've looked at a $75 figure and I've thought, I may be getting this. This is really cool.
And what's cool for me is I'm not a big Superman fan.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up with him, I loved him, but every kid wants to be Superman. The guy does everything.
Yeah.
But as an adult, you grow in other heroes. But I will tell you this. I might be buying this Superman because I would love to have this Superman in my home.
Yeah, it looks really cool. If you want to check it out, there's a couple different places. Yeah. I know it sounds like we plug Big Bad Toy Store a lot. I mean, there's other places you can look for them to mezcotoys.com.
Yeah.
You can, I think you can find them there.
They're on pre-order right now. That's the thing. They're not even out yet.
Yeah. I don't know if there was another website too, Dorkside Toys.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's available there or not, but you can check out Dorkside Toys. Yeah, I don't want to feel like we're just plugging. We mention a lot of places on the store, but we get no swag, no endorsement.
This is stuff
nothing.
where we find.
It's just where we find stuff. So you can look at Big Bad Toy Store, but also check out Mezco Toys. You can check out DorksideToys.com.
The other thing too is anyone that we mention, the reason why we do it, James and I are cheap. And these are the guys who give us the best deals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyone.
I mean, this is a really cool looking figure. So check it out. I don't know when he's available, but if you go on Big Bad Toy Store, you can find out.
All right.
Anyway, we're about at the end of our time, but I wanted to just let you guys, remind you guys that next episode we're going to be talking about the casting of our Old Man Logan film.
You gotta say the title.
What? Oh, we pitch it and you cast it. One of these days I'm going to screw up.
I know it.
You know
I can't
what?
wait.
You know what? Sometimes it's just better to just say, we pitch it, you catch it. There
No,
you go.
no,
yeah,
no!
I did it. I
I
did
said
it.
it.
So now it's too late. The suspense is gone. You don't have to, everyone's sitting on the edge going, is he going to say it this time? Is he going to say it this time? I already said it. We pitch it, you catch it. No, it's we pitch it and you cast it. So we pitch and you cast a Old Man Logan film. Chris and I have come up with our own ideas for who should be
And we
in
want to
this
listen,
movie.
and we want to listen to yours. But remember, if yours are really awesome, then we might steal them.
And take credit for them, sure. And if they suck, then we'll read them.
We're
Then-
gonna
then-
say no. I didn't come up with this.
Then we'll give you credit. But yeah, you can email those to us at justusnerdspc@gmail.com. You can also leave it as comments on either SoundCloud, Facebook, or YouTube. You like that?
Look at you.
Yeah, look like a pro. We hope you'll come out and join us on June 25th at Vieira Comics, because
We're gonna be doing a live event, guys. This is gonna be a great event that we're going to.
well, it's going to be live while we're doing it, but I think unfortunately
It'll
still
be the week later.
Yeah, it'll
but
be a week
still,
later.
We're recording there.
We're going to be recording there live. We will be alive
Yeah.
while we're recording it. That's the
right.
point.
That's it.
Our friends over at Vera Comics are hosting a Spider-Verse day. It's basically going to be a mini sort of Comic-Con cosplay party.
Yep.
Come dressed in your favorite Spider-Verse. So this is your Venoms, your Spider-Gwens.
Now,
your...
the thing is not just Spider-Man. They want villains. They want everybody in the
yeah.
Spider-Man universe. They want J. Jonah Jameson.
J.
sitting
Jonah,
down.
yeah, you know what? If you look like J. Jonah Jameson, or you got a J. Jonah Jameson cosplay, you show up, because
I want Aunt May there.
We need you. We want hot Aunt May
Yeah.
and traditional Aunt May.
I'd rather have the hot Aunt May.
I would rather have hot Aunt May too. Okay, so come and say hello to us there. There's going to be all kinds of interesting things going on. They're going to be doing sketches. They're going to have professional artists there doing sketches. They're going to have Make 'em Laugh Films putting on a spider show. I really am dying to know what this spider show is going to be. You got to I'll show up and find out.
Plus, discounts throughout the store.
It's going to be 10% off on all Marvel graphic novels, figures, pops, and statues. So this is going to be starting, I think, around 11-ish. But it's if you're in the Central Florida area, it's at 7640 North Wickham Road, Suite 108. It's our friends at Vieira Comics.
And you can't miss it. There's a big sign in front of the building. It says Vieira Comics.
Exclamation point.
That's right.
It's not Vieira Comics.
It's
Vieira Comics! Yeah, absolutely. So we hope to see you there. We'll be there doing our show. We hope if you listen to the show, come up and say hi. All right. So next show, we're going to be talking more about more Rebirth titles.
Yes!
And we're going to be casting our Old Man Logan movie. So we hope you'll join us. Unfortunately, that is all the time that we have for today's episode, but we hope you'll join us next Monday and every Monday for another magical episode of Just Us Nerds. And until then, remember that it's pronounced Leviosa, not Leviosa.
No wonder you don't have any friends.
All right, bye-bye and take care.